Hey guys, it's Cinematic HD here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the best options and settings that you need to change so that you can run Grand Theft Auto 5 smoothly without any lag. So let's get started. So guys, only going to be running through the settings over here. This is not a kind of a modification or some kind of a file transfer to make Grand Theft Auto 5 look better or run faster. It's just the settings, and I'm going to explain what these settings do mean so that you can change it accordingly your PC configuration is. So guys, before changing the settings, if you want to know your PC configuration, also the graphics configuration in your PC, go ahead. If you're running Windows 7 or Windows 10, doesn't matter, go ahead and click Start R. So the run is going to open, and now you're going to type in DXDIAG. So now when you type in DXDIAG, the pop-up will open up. Now this is the DirectX diagnostic tool. All you have to do is go to the system tab over here, and this is the RAM. My PC has a 8 GB RAM, and I have a i5 processor, so that's there. And for the gaming, you want to go to the display, and here you want to find out the VRAM. So this is for gaming. So I have around 2000 MB, which is 2 GB, which is actually not that good, not impressive, not it's actually very normal. So 2 GB for gaming is what my PC has. If you have a 4 GB or even a 8 GB, that's just amazing. Probably you wouldn't be watching this video if you have a 4 GB graphics, because the game would be running totally fine. So check out how much VRAM you have. Size resolution of my monitor. So my monitor is a 5120 into 2880. In your case, it might be a 1080p monitor or a 720p monitor. If it's lower, your game is actually going to run better, because resolutions do matter. So it's gonna load each and every pixel if it's an higher resolution monitor, which is mine is a very huge resolution monitor, which is actually not good for the game because it needs to load a lot of pixels. So let's get going to the game and see what settings we need to change to make the game look better and run with a better FPS. So let's get started. So I'm gonna go inside settings, and here the first thing you want to go inside is graphics. So this is where we're going to work out a lot over here. So my PC configurations are as I said before, and I'm going to do it accordingly, and I'm also going to explain each and every setting so that you guys know it and you can accordingly set it for your PC. So guys, first thing you want to do is switch on ignore suggested limits. So make sure that is on. And DirectX version, it could be DirectX 10 or DirectX 11. You can choose anything you want. I would just recommend you choose the latest version of DirectX. Now here screen type is actually really important. I am actually running this game in a 5K monitor. As you can see here in resolution, the maximum I can go is 5120 into 2880. So I'm running this in a 5K monitor, so I have chosen full screen. But if you are running it in a 1080p monitor or a 720p monitor or also a 2K monitor, I would suggest you to go choose windowed borderless. This gives you a lot of FPS. So this gains a lot of FPS, so make sure you choose Windows borderless. So if I choose Windows borderless, make sure you choose Windows borderless, and you'll have to choose the maximum resolution of your display over here. Only then the game will take up the whole display. So I'm running a 5K monitor here. My game cannot be run in a 5K resolution because it's just way too heavy. So I'm going to change it to 1080p, and I'm going to change it to full screen. If you can go Windows borderless and choose the maximum resolution over here, then that is a really good go that you have to choose. So I'm going to choose this for me. So here aspect ratio is auto, refresh rate is 60 Hz, that is fine. So as we're done with that, we're going to go down, and here we have FXAA. So this is totally fine. So you can just switch it on without a problem. This does not reduce FPS at all. So FXAA is on. So now MSAA will cost you a lot of FPS. That is if you increase it to into 4 into 8. If the into 8 is the maximum, if you choose it into 8, then you will lose a lot of FPS. You will run, if your PC is not a gaming PC, you will lose a lot of FPS. So I suggest you turning it off, or if your PC can handle it, I suggest you to go into 2. So I'm going to turn it off for my PC. Now VSync is just for the visual purpose. So I suggest you to turn it off. Actually, just turn it off and try to play the game for a few minutes. Go to different locations and see if you're actually getting the vertical line, which is actually VSync. If you're getting that, I would suggest you to turn it on. if you're not getting that, you can just go ahead and turn it off. It's just going to save you a little bit of FPS, which does not matter a lot also. So pause game on focus loss is not a problem. Now here, these three settings, you can just increase the population density to the maximum and also population variety to the maximum. Now here, distance scaling will cost you a little bit of FPS, so I would suggest you to go keep it in the middle or over 75%. So now we go down here, we have three main options: the texture quality, the shader quality, the shadow quality. Texture quality, you can either choose a normal or high. Please do not choose very high at all, because very high will cost a lot of FPS. And also I'm going to go ahead and choose high, because I want to see things a little bit clear. If your PC still bugs on high, then I would suggest you to go choose normal. So now here in shader quality, you can just go ahead and choose very high, because a lot of people have said that shader quality and FPS does not matter. It doesn't give a lot of difference. But if you are running a very low end PC, then you can just go ahead and choose normal. So now here, shadow quality. So this is the main important part, which will cost a lot of FPS in Grand Theft Auto 5. So shadow, if you're going to keep it to very high, your PC is definitely going to lag unless you have a gaming PC. So here I'm going to set it to normal or high. I would just recommend you to set it to normal, because as I told you guys before, shadow quality is going to cost you a lot of FPS. So now reflection quality. Reflection quality is all about the looks. It is not going to cost you a lot of FPS, but it is definitely going to cost you FPS. So reflection quality is the reflection on the car and also the mirror in the bathroom and etc. So those are the reflection quality. You might want to choose very high or high. If you're going to choose normal, it's going to look somewhat like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So go ahead and just choose very high or high. Or if your PC is fine, you can choose ultra. So I suggest you to choose very high. So reflection MSAA. So I heard a lot of people said that this does not affect the looks at all, and I also experienced the same. So I just suggest you to go switch it off, because it's going to gain you a little bit of FPS. So that's good, and it's not going to change anything by looks, which it didn't actually. So water quality and particles quality, these both you can just set it to very high, because it's not going to cost a lot of FPS there. So that's there. Now grass quality, this is the one of the most main important thing that will cost like a lot of FPS in this game. So go ahead and choose the least option. Normal is what you want to choose for the grass quality. This will not affect your gameplay. This will affect the look of the grass and the trees. So you might want to sacrifice that, but it won't be a lot. So go ahead and choose normal for grass quality. Now soft shadows does not matter. Softest and AMD and Nvidia, you can just go ahead and choose anything. For me, softest works the perfect, so I'm going to choose that. Now post effects, a lot of people say if you turn off post effects, you change it to normal, you will gain a lot of FPS. But no, it does not work like that. It actually did not work like that. So go ahead and choose very high or high, because post effects is actually gonna give you some visualization in the game while you're playing. So the game is actually going to look a little bit better. So I would suggest you to keep it to high or very high, or if you can go ahead and choose ultra. So now motion blur strength is nothing to do with FPS. It's just the look when you turn around. So it's about your personal settings. Now when you go down, you're going to find an in-game depth of field effects. You can just turn it on. It's not going to cost a lot of FPS also. So now anisotropic filtering. So after all these settings, if your game does lag a lot, or if it does lag, if you're not able to run smoothly, go ahead and turn this off, because anisotropic filtering is literally what I showed you right now. So but then anisotropic filtering will actually improve the look of the game, and that will be a drastic visualization improvement. So I'm going to go ahead and choose into 8 or into 4. You can go ahead and choose into 4 or into 8, or you can as well choose into 16 and see if your game works fine. Now ambient occlusion and tessellation. Now ambient occlusion is not much of a difference, so go ahead and choose high. And tessellation is actually going to change the look of the game. So this is how it will actually look if you're going to have a higher setting for the tessellation, and lower setting will be like that. So it's up to you, and it is going to gain some FPS also. These are the settings I'm going to put for my PC. Now we're going to quickly see the advanced graphics. Now in advanced graphics, I would just suggest you to switch off long shadows, because as I told you before, shadows do cost a lot of FPS, and also high resolution shadows, definitely that you're turning it off. Extended distance scaling, you can turn it down to 0, no problem. And high detail while flying, please switch it on, because when you're flying a plane or in a helicopter, you would want this to be turned on so that you can see things better. Now the main setting over here is the frame scaling mode. So if this game still runs really bad after all the settings, then you might want to check frame scaling mode and turn it on. So this is half, this is 2x3, 3x4, 5x6, and anything above 5x6 is more than 1. So do not choose anything above 5x6. So go ahead and choose either 1x2, which your game will look pixelated. So you can go ahead and try 2x3 or 3x4. That is all I'm suggesting you guys. So guys, those are the settings that my PC would be going through. So I just explained to you guys all the settings. So you do not want to set the same settings that I did, because my PC is definitely different from your PC. So go ahead and analyze the settings that I told you, and so try changing a few settings and you will get the right look on your game and still run with a good FPS rate. So thank you so much for watching this video guys. Please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if it helped, and I will see you in the next video.